Okay. Um, we are live. Hi. Good evening. How are you doing today? I hope that your day has been good and that you're probably done from work. So hi. Good evening. I hope you're great today. It's good to have you here. All right. So if you're just joining us, this is Upskilling 5 million African freelancers in 5 years, and we're so sorry that we're bringing this episode to you by this time. We ought to have started in the morning, but we had some technical issues, and so we couldn't do that early in the morning. But we do thank you for your patience. We do thank you for sticking with us till this time. And Wednesday morning. We'll begin. We'll do this again next week at 10 a.m. So this is just a one-off, and it won't happen again. All right. So good evening once again and welcome. I am Ogimark. I am a host for today, and of course, so this is upskilling 5 million African freelancers in 5 years, and it is powered by Source in Business. Okay, so Source in Business is that middleman that is basically connecting you, empowering you, and helping you to upskill your skills. So whatever it is that you have, whatever skill that it is that you possess, whether you need an upskilling, well, here at Source in Business, you get the opportunity to upskill, learn a new skill, be mentored, be properly tutored, and of course, being led by the hand into the world of freelancing. So, if you are interested in remote work, or you know anybody who doesn't have a job, or who's looking for a side hustle, or who's looking for a way to earn a living, or another stream of income, then remote work is the way to go. But you can't just do remote work, you need to earn, you need to get a skill or upskill what you already have to be able to be efficient and employable as a remote worker. Right? Source in Business is here for them, and that's what we're doing here. We're spreading the word, spreading the gospel, and encouraging people to hop on this train and become a part of the remote work community. All right. So today we have all types of remote work. We have all types of skills, but today we're talking about a very unique skill, a skill that isn't even people in that profession don't know that this kind of skill is available. And we have somebody here to talk to us, somebody who has been doing this for a while, somebody both the brick and stone, and who's also doing this. And so she will be talking to us the legal aspect of virtual assistant, how to be a legal virtual assistant. So if you have a law degree, or you know someone who has a law degree, and for some reason, right, you want to be able to maximize, your degree, not just in the office, charge and bill and all kinds of law, work more. You want to get more out of your degree. I know I said that. You want to get more out of your degree, then tell the person to join us. All right. It's going to be
Yeah,
very it's going to be exciting.
interesting.
It's going to be very interesting, and it's going to be an eye opener to people who don't know. Okay, so it is upskilling 5 million African freelancers in 5 years. It is powered by Source in Business. I am Ogie Mark, and thank you so much to everyone who's joined us, wherever you are joining us from, Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa, Europe, America. Thank you so much. We always thank you for doing this. Okay. And now we have Chioma Ijoma. She's a barrister, and also she is also a legal virtual assistant. And she'll be talking to us, telling us exactly how this is done, because I have never heard this before. I haven't. So, Chioma,
Mm,
welcome. Welcome. Good evening. How are you?
Thank you. Good evening. It's actually Chinwe.
Chinwe. Oh, okay. Forgive me. Forgive me. Chinwe. Forgive me.
Yes, it's actually
Chinwe. So,
Chinwe.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. So,
And
um, so tell us. You're all I know about you is that you're a lawyer, and every other person needs to know more about you. What else? What else is
okay,
there to know about you, Choma?
all right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Right.
Um, my name is Chinwe Ijoma. I usually love people calling me IJ, short form, so that some persons wouldn't struggle to pronounce the name. So I am a lawyer, and I'm not just a lawyer, I'm a tech lawyer. All right.
Oh.
Why? Yes, I'm a tech lawyer, and I'm also a virtual legal assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So and there's a part of me that is a hobby. It's I am a coding tutor as well to children. So, but
Okay, and that's
today we're
a
talking
hobby.
about, yes, we're talking about the tech part, the virtual legal assistance. So,
Okay.
that's just basically who I am for now. I wouldn't know where and where, because my journey into the virtual legal assistance was such a long one, because of the same thing that most of us are going through now. People don't really know that this part of the law is existing, and it is actually it's not really new per se, but within the shores of this part of the world, it looks like it's new to them. So, but it's there. So that's who I am. I am
Okay,
Ijoma.
so okay, did you start off because I can hear you say you are a
I'm a tech
tech
lawyer.
lawyer. You
Yes,
also, teach children coding. So was that the
yes,
initial plan, or you just because you don't just wake up one day and become a
yes,
tech teacher? You don't just do
at
that. It's
all.
not something you happen upon. You have to consciously learn and you have to be interested in learning it. And also,
Yes.
being a lawyer as well, is this something you just stumble into? It's a conscious, precise, and intentional effort. So, which of it was what you were intending to do? What was the plan initially? How did you
Okay.
come about
Yes, yes.
this?
Okay. All right. So, just like every other person who is a lawyer, when you mentioned charge and bail, I started smiling and laughing. So everyone, like, I was just like every other person who studied law and had the
Mm-hmm.
mindset of working in a law firm. And I actually worked in law firms, not one, not two. And then at some point in my life, I found out that, especially being a female and a mother, a family person, I found out that it looked like I was now staying more at home. And then I started going through, because everything about us is now centering on technology. Once you have an Android phone and you have a laptop, you start going into the internet and all of that. So I started looking at the aspect of tech in law. And I have been very good with computers, but the
Okay.
point was, I couldn't find something stable to do outside being a lawyer, because if you are outside the legal part of your life, it looks like you're not doing anything per se. If you're not in a chambers, if you're not in a court, then it looks like you're actually not doing anything. But then what that happened was, I found myself in the midst of computer engineers. Someone took
Mm.
me by the hand and started teaching me things that have to do with tech. And from there, I had to now start looking at it from the eyes of the law. Because in school, the truth is that as a law student, you're not really taught about the tech part of the legal system per
So you're
se.
saying there's a tech pack to the legal system.
Yes, there is a technology part of the legal system. In advanced countries, there are tech lawyers. You write some courses, you do some
Mm-hmm.
exams so that you can be exposed. But within our system here, it's not really like that. So you have to do that research yourself. So I found myself doing the tech parts, and then I started learning how to code, and then I started tutoring children coding. And from there, the more the more you're seeing something, the more the knowledge is becoming expands, right? So that was when I now found out that there is something called a virtual legal assistant, and it
Okay.
became strange to me. I now had to start looking out for what does a virtual legal assistant needs to do. And
Mm.
it was very overwhelming for me.
Mm.
The if you do not have a knowledge in tech, you may not really balance well as a virtual legal assistant. That's one part of it. So
Interesting.
that was how I found myself in virtual legal assistance.
Okay, so what aspect of okay, well, we're getting ahead of ourselves now. So when you say things
Okay.
like the tech part of virtual of being a tech part in law, what exactly do you
Yes.
mean?
Okay, so what I mean is it's now away from the life of the courtroom. It's now away from the life of um you're drafting only documents offline, right? Okay, I can see somebody saying cybercrime law. Yeah, it's now away from the normal thing you see, prison, which is the part that usually they say is charge and bill, right?
Yeah.
So you're now away from those parts. You are now in the tech part of life,
Mm.
like those in the financial tech space. That's how it is for a tech lawyer. You're not drafting documents that have to do with technology. You're not beginning to learn tools, software tools that have to do with the legal system. Yes. So that's it.
Mm. Okay. Now, so learning of tools and having all this knowledge is the basics for being a legal virtual assistant. Now, I did see someone ask a
It's a
question because I'm
virtual,
just
yes, it's actually a virtual legal assistant.
mm.
Virtual
So
legal
what
assistant.
virtual legal assistant? So what does a
Yes.
virtual legal assistant do? What are the um what are the things the qualities of being
Okay.
a virtual
Yes.
legal
So
assistant?
a virtual legal assistant is like, please, you guys should go back. Get back. So I'm so sorry, my kids are here, and that's
It's allowed.
the
It's
amazing
allowed.
thing about technology. So a virtual legal assistant's duty mostly is connecting law firms, connecting documents, legal documents together virtually.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when you go to an average law office offline, okay,
Yeah.
you have files, case files, processes. Lawyers can actually relate. So if you are a virtual legal assistant, your main job is putting the files together, working virtually as a lawyer with your clients and also with other law firms, assisting them to put their documents in the cloud or within the software.
Okay.
Organizing, that's part of their jobs. Yes. Go back. Go back. So that's part of their jobs.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. So, but you mentioned dealing with law firms and all of that, but
Yes.
away from law firms, can this lawyer, render his or her services to individuals or establishments or companies that aren't law firms? And what are their duties of this
Okay.
virtual assistant?
Okay. Yes. So like someone, a firm will come now and say they need a lawyer, someone who is a lawyer, like a legal secretary, right? To a
Mm-hmm.
firm or a company. Okay. So in that case, that legal secretary offline, because I'm trying to marry offline so that it can be more understanding. Now, the lawyer
Okay.
who is a legal secretary to a company, a lawyer who is a legal secretary to a company, uh, what he does is
Mm-hmm.
anything that has to do with the company legally, he takes care of them. That's what a virtual legal assistant does as well, virtually,
Okay.
for a firm.
Interesting.
Yes.
Whether it's a law firm or not.
Yes, even if it's a law firm or not a law firm, yes.
Oh, interesting. That's great. Okay, so then what are the requirements for someone who wants to be a virtual legal assistant? What are the requirements they need to have? Skills they need to learn tools. You mentioned something about understanding certain tools that would help them ease their
Yes.
work. So, what are these tools and skills they need to acquire in order to occupy that position as
Okay.
virtual legal assistant?
The thing is that if someone is going to be a virtual legal assistant, the person needs to know the virtual tools that lawyers and law firms use virtually. That's all.
So, what are these? What are these tools?
Okay, so there are a number of them. There are a lot of them. One of the tools are the area of sorting out emails.
Okay.
There are a lot of tools, right? So I may not handily mention a particular tool. I'm just going to tell you the kind of things they should do and what they are going to do surrounding the tools, right? So sorting out emails is one of them. Tools that can sort out emails. That's part of a virtual legal assistant's job. Then responding to inquiries from clients.
Okay.
There are tools surrounding that as well. Then managing calendar. Yes, every lawyer has a diary like this every single year. Every lawyer has a diary every year. So
Oh,
you
really?
sh- yes, that's
Is it
every
given?
single.
Is it given to them, or they have to get it themselves?
You have to get your own diary every single year. So
Okay.
your diary is what you use to arrange yourself, put your cases together. So you should understand how to manage calendar. Right now, Google has its calendar. We have Calendly. So the lawyer who is a virtual legal assistant should know how to manage calendar, the tools around calendar. All right. So then there are tools that they use to organize files as well.
Okay.
Yes, the same thing
Mm-hmm.
that happens offline is what happens virtually. So
Mm.
there are tools that you use to organize your files. Like if you go to an average law office, you should see a lot of files on that are indexed. So there are tools that we use virtually to organize files. That's
Mm.
part of it.
Okay.
And then
Someone asked a question. Sorry to interrupt. Someone asked a question. Person says that does that mean that someone who is not a lawyer but has tools, these tools can be a virtual legal assistant?
okay, it's a yes and a no,
Okay.
because you know that knowledge right now you can actually learn online and learn at home. So why I said is a yes is if the person can actually learn how to use these tools, then the person can actually be a virtual legal assistant somehow. But then there are some parastatals or firms that require a lawyer who is qualified, because there are things that somebody who didn't study law would ordinarily not know how to go about it. There are documents like affidavits, drafting affidavits, drafting some processes. The virtual assistant also should be able to do that. So somehow it has to be a lawyer's work. And on the other hand, somehow if you're smart enough and maybe you have a lawyer on that, it's just like when you go to court, there are some people in courts, clerks, that know the
Mm.
documents and the processes that you should file in court, right? Because they have been there over time, they get to know the procedure. So such persons can
Okay.
actually function as a virtual legal assistant. So that's why I said
Okay.
is a yes and a no.
Okay. Mm.
Yes.
Interesting. All right. So now that we're still talking about, okay. All right. Okay. All right. So that
Understand.
means that for one to occupy and perform in the place of a virtual legal assistant, the person needs to understand these tools, and the person also needs sometimes may require some basic knowledge in law,
Virtually,
right?
especially when it comes to drafting, yes. The person needs
Okay.
to understand drafting, yes. And
Mm.
drafting is not taught in the university. Drafting is only taught in law school when you are about to be qualified to become a barrister and solicitor of the Federal Republic and all of that. So
Mm.
that's it,
Mm.
yes.
Now, to something more pressing, we live in a world where there's a prestigious title attached to someone who goes to school and spends 5 years in school. But then
Yes.
again, system and the way the law degree is being taught over time has remained
Okay.
the exact same, while the world itself is changing. And so many times you find that by the time an individual is done with school, say 5 years with law school and all of
Yeah.
that, they come out and maybe they can't have access to a regular job as a lawyer.
Yes.
They seem stuck and out of place. Many of them do not know how to fit in. Many of them do not
Yes.
know what they can do with the degree. It's almost like it's this useless paper in my hand, you know.
Yes.
What would you say is the first step such a person, such an individual needs to take in order to maximize the remote workspace, in order to
Okay.
maximize the tech industry, in order to
Yes.
use their degree as in the technology space?
Okay. What, like, there was something that there's an article I wrote that has to do with transferable skills for the 21st century, and then they were saying what are the transferable skills. They have soft and they had the hard skills, and one of the major transferable skills that were looked behind before, but it's now the top one, is having tech based skills. So
Hmm.
my suggestion and advice to anybody out there is, when you see a platform where you can learn many of these software tools, you go for it. Because
Okay.
if you understand how a tool is being used, let's assume like the Google Workspace is a virtual tool, right? If somebody knows how to navigate all of the products of the Google Workspace or Google Suite, then that person can actually function as a virtual assistant,
Okay.
irrespective. And truly, the truth is that now people don't really ask you for certificates. What you're being asked
True.
for is, which skill do you have?
Hmm.
So it's ever learning on tools, software tools. That's it.
Hmm. So now
That's
what
it.
you're saying is someone who's a lawyer who's stuck now, the very first step they need to take is to learn certain
Exactly.
skills. Okay.
Learn
From your
virtual.
perspective, from your
Yes.
perspective, from your experience, what are the first three or top three specific skill they need to learn? Now you mentioned tech skills, yeah, but what are the exact skills? Because this is for people who don't know exactly where to start. Because I can see someone ask, what is the
That's what's
meaning
very
of virtual?
okay.
You know, what is the meaning of,
Yes.
so there are people who don't have any idea what we're talking about. There's some
Okay.
who understand the basics, and when you say skill, they already know what to do. But there are those who don't
Yes.
know where to start at all. So now the question now
Okay.
is, what are the top three skills, or any three
Okay.
skills you can tell these people who are stuck at life? Learn these three first. With these three, you can start up your career as a virtual legal assistant. With these three, you can get on the internet and get yourself a job. With these three, what are the first or any three skills these people can learn?
All right. Okay. So one of the basic skills which everybody knows is communication skills.
Okay.
Communication skills is very, very important. How you're going to communicate with either your client or your customer,
Okay.
because the person asking what is virtual assistant simply means somebody who is like a secretary
Mm-hmm.
or a personal assistant to somebody else. So the same way the personal assistant or the secretary acts to his or her boss offline, it's the same
Mm,
thing you do virtually. The difference is that the person is you, both of you are online. You're
okay.
on different shores on earth, and then both of you are online. So communication skills is the first. For me, it might not be a three thing, but the second one is understanding most of the software tools.
Okay.
That's it.
You mentioned Google Suite earlier on.
Google Suite is one of the virtual tools. In Google
Mm,
Suite, you have your calendar is there, your drive
mm,
is there where you can save. There are a lot of things where you can have your video calls, your meet, and all of that. So it's like a whole, it's like a wholesome place for someone to understand virtual assistants. Yes, I'm coming. Okay, I'm coming. All right, so that's it.
mm,
Communication skills, and then your understanding the tools, the software tools needed for a virtual assistant.
mm.
Yes.
Interesting. Interesting. So, what would you say are the benefits of being a virtual legal assistant?
Oh my God. There are so much. Like, you can hear my kids talking. My boss is not going to be angry with me because my kids are here. I'm a mother, I'm a stay at home mom, a lawyer,
Mm,
and then
mm,
I work from home, I earn from home,
mm,
and then I can take care of my family at will. And then I learn new things, more new things. Because the truth is that when you become a virtual assistant, you've immersed yourself into the world of tech, and then you can virtually know what is going on in the tech space, because right now almost all companies are moving their systems to the cloud. You get to understand what is going on virtually.
mm.
Yes. So
That's
that's
great.
the
That's
benefits. Yes.
interesting. Someone is asking, can some of these ideas or knowledge, like drafting, you talked about, be learned online?
Um the truth the truth is that everything is online. On your search engine, everything is online. But the problem is, how can you know which one is which?
Okay.
Which one comes first and which one comes second?
Mm,
Chinwe, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, let me come in on that question.
Yes.
People who are trying to understand virtual legal assistance should know that
Mm.
virtual assistance is a broad field on its own.
Yes.
And in virtual assistance environment, we have uh, an example of virtual legal assistance. We have
Yes.
virtual accounting assistants. We have
Yes.
virtual medical assistants.
Exactly.
We have virtual maybe audit assistant.
Assistant.
Tax
Exactly.
consultant all of that. So if you want to become a virtual assistant, the first thing you need to ask yourself is that what is my area of specialty? Like
Specialization.
where a
Exactly.
specialization, where am I developed?
Gotcha.
There are two types of skill. There is a
Yes.
skill that have to do with technology, being able to use technology to deliver your service. There is another aspect of the skill which is actually not soft, which is the core ability and services that you are equipped to be able
Yes.
to do that. So for you now as a lawyer, you could be a virtual legal assistant because you are actually a lawyer, not because you learn one or two things about law, then
Yes.
you are now offering virtual assistance, legal virtual assistance, and stuff like that. So people need to understand that if you want to become a virtual assistant, you might not need to become virtual legal assistant. You could be an assistant because you are a trained accountant, or because you are a trained travel consultant, or because you are a trained, different areas of business. So I just need to clarify that because I've seen a number of questions coming up as to how to become legal virtual assistant. Thank you.
okay. All right, so this one here says, oh, okay, you've responded to that. All right, so apart from the time and the time it affords you to take care of your family, um, now let's move on to the financial aspect. Okay, we've lost Chinwe right
Yes,
there. Connection is probably not great. So
that's okay.
while we wait for her to return, It's worthy to note that on Saturday is the closing ceremony for the first quarter for the Source in Business training, which is obviously free. And on Saturday, we'll be having a closing ceremony. And right after that, the new batch, new stream will kick off where people can have access and learn all they need to learn on how to, in the freelancing space, basically. So, whatever skill it is you want to learn, whatever skill you want to upskill, whatever skill you want to acquire, there are mentors that are there to mentor you. There are tutors that are there to teach you, even if you have no single idea. There are tutors there to tutor you, and also there's a space for you to launch in and start up your career in the freelancing space. So, Femi, over to you.
Are you talking to me, please? You said it's over to
Yes,
me.
over to you. Yeah.
Okay, you want me to speak on the coming event for Saturday, right?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, it's been a long 3 months, and thankfully, we have come to the end of the first stream, whereby we are going to be sending forth the first cohort of mentee on the sourcing mentorship program. We have been able to successfully train about 740 Africans, covering about five, young people from five different countries in African continent. And it has been an interesting one. Even while you were talking to me, I was actually trying to upload a testimonial video so that I could play. That was why I wasn't even listening to you. So we've received a lot of testimonies from trainees, from mentees. Some of them have started getting freelance jobs. Some of them have, because they've been exposed. The highs have been open to a whole lot of opportunities that they never knew were in existing before. So, and I want to also say that by the second week in the month of June, the second stream will actually start. So if you have not registered for mentorship, you can find the link on the screen, www.sourcing.business/mentorship, where you can register for a pathway. So we have about 16 learning pathways from which you can choose from. So my story has always been an inspiration, for why we have this program. I studied in Unilag and I read history and strategic studies, and today I'm in tech, environment. So what that tells you is that whatever you have studied, for some people who have studied linguistics, who have studied Yoruba, who have studied Igbo language, and probably you read those kind of courses by accident or by coercion, you know that through mentorship like this, program like this, you can be able to, redirect your path and upskill yourself in a way that you can be open up to more opportunity. So that's what I'm going to say. That we're starting another stream, second month of June, and the registration is ongoing. If you have not registered, you can do so right now so that you can be part of the coming one. And I also want to say that beyond the fact that you can upload your gig on sourcing platform, we are actually taking pragmatic steps to ensure that those who are very committed on the program are shortlisted for internship, especially those who are not currently working, because we have a lot of people on the program who are actually currently working. And as well, we have those who are fresh graduates, and the likes. So I want to tell you that taking this mentorship program opens you up to a lot of opportunity. All right,
Yeah.
I think
Great.
Chinwe is here to join us.
Yes.
So let's see if we
Uh,
can see take more questions. Um,
okay. Um, okay, this one was the guy who was asking about what does it mean to be a virtual assistant. Femi has already responded to that question. It's basically
yes,
an assistant who's
maybe
not
he's just
physically
joining. Probably
what?
maybe he's just joining us. The first thing I will ask you is that what is it that you know that even right now, without the help of technology, what are the things you can do for people? Now, if there is anything you can do, maybe you read accounting or you're a chartered accountant, you're an expert with tax, tax management, or you are good with managing, large number like data management and the rest of it, or you are a web developer and stuff like that. So whatever it is you can do right now, Now ask yourself, is it a kind of service I can transfer virtually, that I don't need to carry it from one place physically to another before I deliver it? If you have any of such skill or expertise, then you can actually become a virtual assistant. I can use my field as an example, digital marketing. I always say I am a digital marketer, but I'm also a virtual assistant because I can help an organization to manage their social media platform without having to carry any physical material to their office. So I'm going to be in my own space and I'm going to be rendering service to them by advertising, promoting their brands, selling their product, and driving traffic to their website or whatever platform they are provided, to be able to generate conversion. So I'm a virtual assistant. So whatever it is you do, if you can transfer such service and value, digitally, then you can actually work as a virtual assistant. And today we are talking about virtual legal assistant. So a virtual legal assistant is a service that can be rendered by a lawyer, a trained lawyer who understands what is required to be able to meet your legal needs. Okay, another question is there. Do you need to should we take this?
Okay. Okay.
Must
Must the
must a
virtual
virtual
assistant be a
assistant
fast
be
typer?
you see now, so some people actually have this narrow understanding of virtual assistant. Some people believe that a virtual assistant should be maybe somebody who answer phone calls or somebody who help you manage your calendar and stuff like that. It's not limited to that. So if you're a fast typer or a typist, it's a good skill that you can actually, because a lot of organizations or people have paper document they want to transfer to digital content. If you're a fast, typist, they can send it to you and you build them, maybe per
And,
pages.
and besides that, the more you type, the faster you become.
Yes. So you begin to make money as a virtual assistant, as a typist, or as whatever it is that is being called. So you don't have to be a fast typer or typist. It's about if your service or value can be delivered digitally. So you can be a virtual assistant. Okay.
And then this one
Okay.
says,
Thanks. Okay. You understand the differences now. Oh, that's
oh, okay,
fantastic.
okay, great.
Okay. So, I mean, today, it's just important because, the morning we were talking about this stuff, and I
Mm,
said, actually, I actually know a lawyer who find it very hard to navigate through the internet. The
mm,
idea, someone like me that wanted to read law as well, when I going to Unila, I wanted to read law. And then it was like, once you are a lawyer, you have the whole world, within your hands and all of that.
mm,
But because of the era that we have, which has to do with technology, we realize that if you are a lawyer and you don't know how to take advantage of the available, mediums, you realize that your skill and your profession becomes limited. So as a lawyer today, you have to start understanding that you shouldn't be, locked down to only going to court and stuff like that. You should be able to do, for example, the
mm,
lawyer that work for our organization, we don't see, we do all our stuff, our documentations, everything, digitally and transferred by email and all of that. So those are basic skills that a lawyer needs to be able to acquire.
mm.
Okay,
Okay.
that guy is talking, right? Who is this? What is he saying?
What's your target area among African country? Where is
No,
your
sourcing
where is your
business.
target area?
Sourcing business is open to the entire world. But what we are trying
Literally.
to do is that we are trying to ensure that Africans are given fair share, in the digital era. It is not just for Africans because our target actually is to bring jobs from Europe, Asia, America, other parts of the world to Africa. Okay. So we are not restricted to any part of Africa. Thank you. Okay. We seem not to be having Chinwe back.
Her connection, I mean, it's really understandable. It's evening
Yeah.
already. Her children are craving her attention and
Exactly.
all of that.
Yeah.
So, but she has really taught a lot on,
She's been able to
touched a
deliver the
lot.
message. Yeah.
Yeah, she taught a lot on the topic already. So, if you know a lawyer who is stuck at life, tell them to get
Yeah.
on sourcing business and to get ready to use that knowledge they have acquired in school
Yeah, and
for
I think Chinwe should be sharing one or two lessons on this in the coming mentorship program.
yes.
Yes,
So we'll
darling.
see you on Saturday. Saturday, we hope that you join us for our closing ceremony. We have a long list of guests that will be talking on that day, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Some of them are tutors, mentors, and of course some students as well. They will share the experience on how the 3 months has been so far, what they've learned,
Yes.
and how they're ready to take the world by storm. Okay, all right. I mean, it didn't go as planned today, but I mean, it's all good. We did touch a few bit of been here and there. We're back on Wednesday. We're back on
Yes.
Wednesday. If you have any more questions, we can still drop them and then we can attend to them before we go. Okay.
We should have enough time. Me two over 3 hours on Saturday, so we have enough time to answer questions Saturday.
Okay.
Join us on
All right. Thank you
Saturday.
so much. On Wednesday beat will return next week Wednesday at 10 a.m. Okay. And Wednesday beat will return at 10 a.m. next week Wednesday. It's back at 10 a.m. And thank you so much for always staying tuned. So wherever you are joining us from, make sure you connect with us on YouTube and Facebook and on LinkedIn at Source in Business. Source in Business. And of course, if you haven't registered, you want to get on this freelance platform. Get onto sourceinbusiness.com, register, stay on the waiting list so that when the new stream starts, which is going to be in June, you will be the first to be enrolled. Okay, I am Ogi Mark, and thank you so much for joining. See you on Saturday.